I want to share a couple things as a way of kind of spinning off into our wonderful discussion. And I wanted to share about two letters that were written to John Brown while he was waiting to die in a Virginia jail cell. The first was written by Mary Stearns, and you're going to hear more about the Stearns, but Mary Stearns was the wife of one of John Brown's leading and most warm supporters, George Luther Stearns. And Mary Stearns writes to him on November 8th, 1859. This is what she says personally. She says, "Dear brave old friend, you can never die. The gallows seems no longer a degradation, since your example has so hallowed and glorified it. For the truth's sake, I can let you die, but for our affection's sake, we would put our arms around you and hold you here forever." Then she includes, and this is really what I want to get to, she includes a stanza of a poem that was written in 1845 by a Scottish poet named Charles Mackay, and the poem was called Eternal Justice, but she particularly quotes from the poem in regard to Socrates. And I won't read the whole stanza, but it says, "Cheerily to and fro, trust to the impulse of thy soul, and let the poison flow. Today abhorred, tomorrow adored, so round and round we run, and ever the truth comes uppermost, and ever is justice done." And so she sends that to John Brown. So now there are other abolitionist references to John Brown being made. In fact, this is probably inspired by Emerson and others who see John Brown as a kind of Socrates. But this woman, along with the African-American poet Frances Ellen Watkins, does the same thing. Now, two different places. Frances is writing from Indiana, and she writes a few weeks later, only days before John Brown is hanged, November 25th. And she says this, and it's such a moving, I wish I could read the whole letter, but she says, "Although the hands of slavery throw a barrier between you and me, and it may not be my privilege to see you in your prison house, Virginia has no bolts or bars through which I dread to send you my sympathy. In the name of the young girl sold from the warm clasp of a mother's arms to the clutches of a libertine or a profligate, in the name of the slave mother, her heart rocked to and fro by the agony of her mournful separations, I thank you that you have been brave enough to reach out your hands to the crushed and blighted of my race. You have rocked the bloody Bastille, and I hope that from your sad fate great good may arise to the cause of freedom. Already from your prison has come a shout of triumph against the giant sin of our country. The hemlock is distilled with victory when it is pressed to the lips of Socrates. Your martyr grave will be a sacred altar upon which men will record their vows of undying hatred to that system which tramples on men and bids defiance to God." Those are the beautiful words of Frances Ellen Watkins, and you heard also the affections of Mary Stearns. Both of them not only citing Socrates, but presenting that to John Brown and saying, "This is how we see you." And I think it's a wonderful way of kicking off our discussion about John Brown and abolitionist women.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth